Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing my VCT EMEA playoff predictions. In this video I'm just going to go over like each team's season from the playoffs and then going through every game and giving you my prediction of who I think is going to win and why. If you guys enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me out, even if you don't agree with the takes, as long as you find the video entertaining. Uh, just helps me out, helps me grow, all that kind of stuff. Especially as the playoff season is ramping up here. I already did my Pacific predictions, which I'm 100% on so far as I'm recording this. Americas, we just have one game to go in the regular season. And then after that, we have Tokyo, which all the content leading up to that should be pretty good. So make sure to stay tuned for that. And yeah, let's get right into it. And we'll start with the sixth seed in EMEA and the team that I had in my most overrated team from EMEA when I did that video of my most underrated and overrated teams. And now this team at Lock-in, they were able to take down Global in a pretty tight game, but I guess the maps that they won weren't too close. And they lose to Leviathan, who looked pretty good at the time. And then they started out strong, beating Liquid, and then a Koi that had just come off beating Navi. And then they lose to Foot, whatever. That the team was really hot then. They beat Carmine Core pretty convincingly, and then they lose 4 straight before beating Heretics to have a chance at making playoffs. I think this team is a fairly solid team. They have a bunch of nice, like, I don't know, their structure is very, very sound, but I just don't think their players are good enough to compete with most of these other playoff teams, which is why they're the 6th seed right now. And they lost. I don't think they beat. Okay, they beat Liquid week 1, and that's the only playoff team they beat out of their whole schedule. So should be interesting. And then the 5th seed, we have the only Turkish team in playoffs, Foot, who I also thought was pretty overrated throughout the whole season. I thought they were actually really good going into the season, having a really close game against 100 Thieves at Lock-in, eventually losing to them, but they did stomp RRQ. And then beating teams like Heretics, having really close games with Liquid, and then had an insane individual streak from Vitality to Koi, and then like the Giants game, I don't think they played half bad. And then after that, they kind of had a drop off in individual performance and weren't able to kind of hang with some of these teams. Also, teams kept letting Lotus through against them, which was their best map. Just never really made sense to me. But I think this team definitely does have some upset potential when it comes to the playoffs. And then as the 4 seed, we have Giants, who I thought was the 4th best team in the league pretty much the whole year. I think the highest I put them was 3rd in my power rankings. But I just thought they were a very, very solid team all year. I don't think they really had the power to punch upwards. It seems like Liquid, Navi, and Fnatic, but they could take maps off those teams, played pretty solid in those games. They almost beat Energy, I guess. I don't know. They really didn't. They won Lotus against NRG and then got rolled. I forgot about that. And then they had a rough first 2 weeks against Fnatic and Navi, but they kept both those games very close, especially the Navi one. Then they had a very good win streak against Koi, BBL, Foot, 3 fairly decent teams at the time. I guess Koi less so in hindsight. But then they don't beat Liquid. Then they have a close game against Liquid, but that was still a good game from them. And then they lose to Heretics with a coach, with that team playing pretty insane, having that pocket Yoru pick on Pearl, which really hurt Giants. And then they beat Vitality to kind of secure their spot in playoffs, and then they beat Carmine Core last week. I think this team definitely has, I mean, they're definitely the favorite to make the 4th spot for Tokyo in this region, but there's a chance they get upset throughout the way. Now we're getting to like this top tier in EMEA with Liquid, our number 3 seed. I mean, obviously there were big doubts about this team coming off a lock-in after getting kind of rolled by Team Secret. They lose week 1 to a decently strong Vitality team. And then Foot, they beat in a pretty solid win. Carmine Core, while Carmine Core was still trolling. They were still looking a little bit shaky at that point, and they lose to Fnatic in pretty convincing fashion. And then they beat Heretics, beat Giants, lose to Navi with a sub. I thought they would win that game if they had safe still. And then they win their final 2 games against BBL and then Koi, which they were ultra trolling in this game. I mean, they brought out the fucking 2021 or no 2022 comp on this map from the beginning of the year. Nats dropped 30 on Chamber, and then they ran Reyna on Lotus, which is kind of funny. This map was certainly a map of Valorant, but still a very solid team, and I think this team should be able to make Tokyo and be a pretty strong competitor there. And then we have Navi, the number 2 seed. I mean, there's not too much to say about their season here. They were kind of experimenting with stuff the whole season, trying a lot of like Gecko comps, not trying to show too much new stuff. But they lose to Koi week 1, which I don't think was too bad. I mean, this is the Lotus game in the series. 20-18 was one of the best maps of Valorant in the whole split, regardless of region. So, I mean, Navi was up 9-3. I didn't even remember that. And, I mean, the Lotus was a big weakness throughout the whole split. But they end up winning, what is this, 7 games in a row. And then they lose to Fnatic in weird game of Valorant. Like, I don't think Fnatic played well, and neither did Navi in this game. But some people did. I just didn't understand it. But overall, a very solid season from Navi, putting themselves in position to get the bye into the second round already. So I think this team, if they don't make Tokyo, would be a huge shock. And then for Fnatic, there's really not too much to say. They went undefeated, dropped, like, what was it, 1 map? Yeah, 1 map to BBL. They're undefeated this year. Even at, like, let me see. When does 2023 start? Oh, okay. It's just locked in. It was the first 2023 tournament they played. Yeah, so they have not lost a game this year yet. And I don't think that will continue even into the playoffs. I think they should be able to get that first seed. And I think probably get a bye into the playoffs at Tokyo. So now we have the actual playoff pick'ems. I already recorded this with the like Epic Pen and kind of like filled in everything as I thought it was going to go, because I didn't realize that the actual playoff pick'ems were not live yet. But I'm just going to re-record it now since I have time. And why not? Because this actually looks a lot better. So Giants Foot, I'm going to take Giants. There's upset potential here. Foot can swing from anything between like the 7th or 8th best team to like 2nd or 3rd, depending on their individual form on that week. So there is upset potential here, as I said, but I don't think Giants is going to lose this game in a playoff setting, but it is possible. And then I'm just going to go through Fnatic over Giants. I don't think there's too much explanation needed there. Fnatic are just a tier gap above everybody else. And then Liquid, Vitality. I'm going to take Liquid over Vitality. I think Vitality is pretty easily the worst team in playoffs. Even though they are a decent team, I just don't think they have too much upset potential to beat like your Navis, your Liquids, your Fnatic, and even your Giants, as we're going to see here. I just don't think they have the individual upside to upset in games like maybe Foot does. And then Navi, Liquid. In the regular season, these two teams played. I know Navi was trying out a lot of stuff in the regular season and kind of trying not to show stuff at the same time. And I took Liquid in that matchup, and I'm going to take them again here. This is the qualifying match for Tokyo. Obviously, Liquid has more of a history of having like nerves in big games. At least the players do on that team. But I'm still going to take them in this game. I think Safe is going to have a insane game and push Team Liquid to Tokyo. And then another Tokyo qualifying match. I'm going to take Navi here, though. I think they're just too good to lose to any of these teams below them. And then Navi, Giants. I'm going to take Navi, even though it's a seeding game, so it doesn't really matter too much. I won't be too mad if I get anything past here wrong. I'll take Fnatic over Liquid again, same deal. But I'm going to take Navi in the revenge match and Fnatic to win the grand final. And so with that, that's going to be the video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. It really helps me out. As I said in the beginning, I'll be doing Pickems for every region and then a bunch of content leading up to Tokyo. So make sure to stay tuned for that. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.